Tonight, the Food and Drug Administration says they're banning Juul products from being sold in stores all across the country. Teen e-cigarette use skyrocketed more than 70% after Juul's launch 7 years ago. But Juul maintains its e-cigarette ads were not part of a deliberate effort to target youth. Sales of Juul had fallen in recent years after the company pulled most of its flavors except menthol here in the U.S. Now, in a statement today, Juul said that in part they disagree with the FDA's findings and decision, adding they are looking at the possibility of appealing that FDA decision. According to DHEC, high school students are more likely to vape than they are to smoke, and the state agency cites Juul as the most popular source. Andrew Bagley is the owner of a vape shop in Columbia. He says even with the popularity of Juul, he doesn't have concerns about the ban's effect on his sales there.
I'm not concerned. We have quite a few other vape products that are PMTA approved, which just means that at this point we're legally allowed to sell them. And Juuls were a very, very small percentage of our sales. It's not that big a deal.
Well, tonight the FDA says it determined Juul's applications for selling their products lack sufficient evidence that chemicals inside the devices would not be dangerous to people. And the FDA says this kept them from being able to do a full chemical assessment of the products to determine if they were safe. Now, you may recall that Juul was set to be a major presence in Lexington County. In early 2019, the company announced it would open a $125 million plant there. It was touted as an investment that would create hundreds of jobs. But by November of 2020, Juul announced it had closed that West Columbia facility. And taking a closer look, DHEC says one Juul pod can contain as much nicotine as 20 cigarettes. Health experts say e-cigarettes produce aerosol, not water vapor. The aerosol can contain harmful substances, which can lead to serious lung disease. And DHEC says when it comes to young people, they're more at risk for harmful effects of e-cigarettes because the brain continues to develop until the age of 25. So if the brain is exposed to nicotine before that, it can disrupt a young person's attention, mood, learning, and memory. They also say even in small doses, nicotine exposure at a young age can cause long-lasting changes in brain development and future addiction. Now, before the pandemic started, the CDC was tracking an outbreak of lung injuries due to e-cigarettes or vaping use. The most recent data from February of 2020 shows more than 2,800 hospitalizations or deaths in all 50 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. The CDC says there were also 68 confirmed deaths, including at least one here in South Carolina. The CDC says vitamin E acetate seemed to be strongly linked to the outbreak of the lung injuries. Acetate does not usually cause issues when it's taken as a vitamin or applied to the skin. However, when it is inhaled, the CDC says it may interfere with your normal lung function.